It all started by someone asking me for help in the gym. I wasn't a trainer at that time. I had no desire to be a trainer at that time. I was still new to working out myself. I think it was about maybe 2 months in. I was completely new to working out. I was learning, struggling. I was really, really skinny. I would love to have had like be that skinny now, but I was real, real skinny, and someone asked for help, like on getting abs. So I knew nothing about how to get them abs. I just thought it was just exercise, but it's definitely all nutrition. So that started this journey of people seeing me help somebody, and then them asking me for help, and then them asking me for help. So it was literally word of mouth without me trying to make anything of it because I didn't know what I was doing yet. So after a couple months went by, I started saying, hey, what if I start studying this thing a little more? What if I actually get good at it? And the more people would see me work out in the gym, they would, I don't know what they were actually inspired by, because I wasn't doing any crazy workouts. I was literally minding my business. I was swinging in the corner, working out, lifting, and just doing that. But the turning point came when I was working out and I saw another trainer training somebody. And I looked at the trainer, and the trainer was legit in a different place than the client. The trainer was legit on their phone, looking in the air, while this person is just struggling. And to me, I'm thinking, hey, like this person is paying you to actually get the result, but they're paying you to be there, and you're somewhere else. So you're bored probably, which I could understand. At the same time, this person is paying you to show up for them, and they're thinking that you're gonna help them. So that started this road of, let me just take it a little more serious. I would just put it out there here and there. And this is probably where a lot of the burnout first started. I was just training people for dirt cheap. I mean, like stupid cheap, like $5, $10, just to get my feet wet type of thing. And with all of that, of course, people started signing up. And so I started charging more. And people started signing up. And then I got my first gig at a local private gym, and I started teaching my first group classes, which was totally different. I didn't know how to go from teaching group classes, because it's multiple people versus one person, and eventually I got good at that. And I think I got good at those things. Well, I know I got good at those things not because I was just a student and studying just movement, but I was always studying people. So I knew how to talk to people. I knew how to not get in their head, but I knew how to understand the conversation in their head. So I knew how to get them to come back because of what they wanted. So I just became like a student of studying people, which I still do to this day. After getting certified, that's when it became different. That's when fitness wasn't as fun for me working out, and it became like, okay, I now have to make a career out of this. Meanwhile, I was working at the time. I was working at an insurance company, so I had a full-time job. I was competing in bodybuilding, and I had clients on the side. So my schedule looked like this. I kid you not. When I was competing, I had to be at the gym in the town I was working at, which was 30 minutes away. I had to be at that gym when it first opened up. So just listen to this. So it opened up at 5. I lived 30 minutes away, which means I had to bring my stuff to shower. I had to bring my food for the day because I was prepping to compete. Get there at 5. I would do about a 30-minute workout, the first part. Then I would get on the Stairmaster for 90 minutes, because I was prepping. And then I would get to the shower, get dressed, get to the parking lot of the job, which is about 10 minutes away, eat my first breakfast at my desk, do my work for my insurance company, and then after, I would rush to get to to finish my lifting. So I had to finish my lifting after the job, which is about an hour some change. And then I would go and meet clients at another gym. And that went on for months. And the schedule really didn't change because when I wasn't competing, I would say I would take clients before going to my full-time job, go to my full-time job, work out, and then take clients after. So it was this repetitive cycle. I knew nothing about scaling. I wasn't making enough money to hire. Let me get something to drink. I have a little something in my throat. I knew nothing about hiring, nor did I have the money to hire somebody. And that went on for years. Eventually, I quit my full-time job and I started doing it full-time, which that's where it became different because now that's your bread and butter. That's your sole income. And that's when I would see people just in the general, just if they had a bill they had to do, they would quit. They would cancel their contract, whatever. Or if they wanted to go on vacation, they would cancel their contract. And at the time, the gym I worked for wasn't really paying much to teach classes. It was wild to teach classes. Most gyms now don't pay a lot to teach a class. So it was always like this hustle. So my schedule then turned from going to drive to a school that was 30 minutes away from my house, get there by 6, and teach some teachers in the summertime. Teach some teachers, go back to the town I worked in, train, and it was like just trying to get clients all day. So that's where the marketing muscle started happening because I needed clients to eat. And eventually it became where I was teaching some kids midday. So it just became like all over the place type of thing. And because I just thought this is what I have to do to make it, I never sat with someone who was smarter, who was further, that could tell me how to structure things. And pricing was a big problem because where we trained at, people were not making tons of money where we trained at. But that doesn't mean I couldn't have went further out and stuff like that. Like if I coached myself now, I would say, hey, instead of all those one-on-ones, they're gonna be a group and have premium clients so you don't burn yourself out. There's certain days where you don't work. I went to the place where I was working 7 days a week. So that's where that muscle, that burnout thing came from, like working 7 days a week, seeing people always cancel the gym I work for membership, and then the one-on-ones having to give such a huge split to the owners and stuff like that. A lot of that just scorned me. And those lessons weren't learned for a long time. I still was charging cheap. This is one that I would kick myself in the head now if I told myself this, where I had 6 days a week people could train. They can come to, at that time I had a 6 a.m. class, and then I had like a 6 p.m. class every day. And on Saturdays I had like a 8:30 a.m. class, and then I had like a 10:30 class for people who were 50 and over. And then so with that, they were paying $100 a month. Just think, that's 6 classes a week. 12 classes a week they could have taken. 48 classes a month. They're paying $100. And here's how crazy it was. I didn't even have a system for them to just be reoccurring. I was letting them pay me when they got paid. So it was like they were paying me, like they would click the link or they would give me the cash. So it was like I didn't know at times if I would get paid. Like you would think, like, Drew, how in the world did you mess that up? Not knowing business at that time, not knowing structure at that time, having a heart so big that I'm just like, oh man, you don't have it this month, just come train. And then I'm suffering because I still need to eat. I had a family. So all of those things that just taught me lessons of uh, scaling, hiring, but it taught me the lesson of value, and I didn't learn it until a long time. So I was trying to serve everybody and really just not serving the business. It was more so like a ministry. It was not functioning like a business. And that got in my skin, that got in my spirit. And it happened over and over again. Even at times, I did work for other gyms. It was better in some ways, but it was still that same cycle. Like, you gotta grind to get it. You have to do all these things, and that scarred me. So now just revisiting it, I'm a lot smarter. The first thing I wrote down was, we're not doing these cheap memberships for anything. There's enough YouTube that people can look at, and if someone can't afford it, it's nothing against them. They can look at my free stuff. But I understand 15 years in the game, 15 years of scars, that I bring more to the marketplace. And just even my life coaching background of understanding how patterns, behaviors, and things like that. So that's where it started. It's a long story, but that's where it started. And now we're going to see where it goes.